day, dear participants. Let me introduce my work on the theme Methodology of Formation of the Individual Study Plan of the Student based on the graph model of the dependence of disciplines. Life brings certain challenges to humanity every day, and our task is to accept them and adapt. Education is no exception. Initially, we adapted to the challenges of the COVID pandemic, and currently we face the war and the destruction it brings, which will need to be rebuilt by future generations. That's why we need people who are expert in their fields. This gave rise to the following idea: to develop software for creating an individualized learning plan for each student based on their performance. This way, the university will prepare top-notch and specialized professionals that our time desperately needs. All of this will be accomplished through an algorithm that tracks the performance of each student and, based on their success in previous disciplines, construct the most optimal educational plan for the next academic period. The system for developing the educational plan for students in Ukraine currently looks as follows. 75% consist of mandatory disciplines, while 25% are elective disciplines that each student chooses from a set of options. However, due to the fact that the majority of students randomly select elective disciplines within their professional field, it is proposed to automate this system as follows. First, mandatory professional disciplines will remain compulsory. Second, students will have the freedom to choose elective disciplines of general interest according to their preference. Third, elective disciplines within the professional field will be formed based on the methodology for developing an individualized learning plan for each student. This methodology will operate based on a constructed schedule that defines the proportion of mandatory professional disciplines to elective disciplines. As a graph model of the dependence of the disciplines of the professional cycle of the student's curriculum, consider an oriented graph G, where T is set of graph tops, A set of graph arcs. The dependence graph of the disciplines of the professional cycle of the student's curriculum, G, is built on the basis of both normative and selective disciplines. Let's assume that each top Ty is characterized by an elementary indicator My that is directly related to the student's success, that is, the credit score given for passing the corresponding ICE discipline. Some tops of the graph will have the indicated indicator My equal 0 because not all disciplines of the elective cycle will be assigned to the student's individual study plan. In turn, each arc Aij, which connects the tops Ty and Tj, is characterized by a criteria weight, in particular the weight coefficient k. The specified weight factor is set for each arc in the range from 0 to 1. Given that each top Ti of the graph is a directly specific discipline's normative or selective, the value of the weight factor chi will be determined by the conditional influence of the results of mastering the disciplines of the top Ti, which is measured by the indicator My on the discipline of the selective cycle that contains in the top Tj. The sum of the weight coefficients of the incoming arcs for each J-top should be equal 1. Consider a matrix GKM whose elements are products K and M. As it's you can see in the formula 3. The next step is the formation of the set of significance C rate of each selective disciplines for an individual student according to the formula 4. The set S rate consists of the rating evaluations of optional disciplines of 3 courses, the second, third, and fourth. However, if for the second year we can immediately choose from the ZS rate of maximum ratings of specific disciplines, then for the third it will be necessary to wait 1 year of study and accordingly for the fourth another year of study. Since the student's individual study plan is built step by step after the end of each academic year. Then we determine the set of elective subjects for the next year of study. We can match each student with a set ordered in descending order. Look at Formula 5, where operator sort arrange the elements of the set in descending order. The first X disciplines from the ordered set will be included in the student's individual study plan. The rest are simply zeroed out. The discipline's interaction graph for 3 years of study would be cumbersome and unreadable for a presentation, so let's present the main idea based on a subgraph of interrelationship between mandatory and elective disciplines for the second year of study. The mandatory disciplines for the first year of study are shown in purple, and the elective mandatory disciplines for the second year are shown in orange. For convenience, a table of dependency coefficients between disciplines is provided. Figures 3 and 4 depict the tables of dependency coefficients between disciplines for selection in the third and fourth year of study, respectively. On the following slides, the implementation of the proposed methodology is briefly considered on the example of the imaginary education of students and the formation of their personal educational plan, in particular elective disciplines of a professional field. Slide 8 shows the success of students in the first year and the selective disciplines for the second year of study form on its basis. By default, we will form 2 disciplines of the selected cycle each year, but this indicator may vary. Therefore, 2 optional disciplines for the first year, namely web programming and basis of smart technologies for the first student, basis of interaction design and engineering graphics for the second students, are included in the student's curriculum for the next year, and accordingly, the results of the assessment and examination session will be evaluated for a certain point. All other optional disciplines from the first year are zeroed. From here, based on the performance evaluation of a conditional student in the second year, we will receive 2 elective disciplines for the third year: modern software development platforms and basis of cloud technologies first student, and basis of cloud technologies and data security second student. By analogy, with the formation of elective disciplines for the third year, we are forming elective disciplines for students for the fourth year of study. From here, based on the performance evaluation of a conditional student in the third year, we will receive 2 optional disciplines for the fourth year: computer graphics and basis of cloud technologies first students, and data compression methods and data transmission system second students. As we can see on example of the second student, a tendency to work with data set is clearly visible, and the methodology developed by as automatically offers the student those disciplines that will only underline and develop this tendency to a higher level. This slide briefly shows the appearance of the software developed on the basis of the specified methodology. And the conclusions. The article considers the problem of forming a student's individual study plan, in particular on the basis of the elective disciplines chosen by the students. It is known that currently students choose elective subjects arbitrarily based on the principle of mass or certain interest. Quite often, as a result, the student simply does not like the disciplines he has chosen. The authors propose to make the approach to the selection of elective subjects automated, namely by developing a method of forming an individual study plan for each individual student, taking as a basis success indicators from previously studied subjects. From here, the normative part of the subjects will build the basis of the specialist as such, and a number of elective disciplines formed on the basis of the student performance indicator will only improve and increase knowledge in those areas where the student is the best. Thus, using the specified method of forming a student's individual educational plan, a higher educational institution will be able to form higher qualified specialists relying on their personal abilities and educational achievements. Thank you for your attention.